Yo, what is going on, you elderly Ekans? We got some new Team Rockets cards to talk about, and from what I've been seeing, everyone is saying that the Rockets Mewtwo EX is underwhelming, but I don't know. I think it's probably pretty good. Before we jump into it, though, big shout out to TC Evolutions, of course, for sponsoring me with my content and as a competitor in the Pokemon TCG space. Check them out, tcevolutions.com. Link will be in the description. They make high quality premium accessories for not just the Pokemon TCG, but if you play One Piece, Magic, or Lorcana, you can check those out as well. But for the Pokemon TCG, they got the dice, the damage counters, the ability markers, and the dice cases. Check them out, tcevolutions.com. Link in the description, and make sure you use code AzulGG over there as well to get yourself a discount. All right, let's just go through these cards in order here, one at a time. So we're starting with Rockets Tarountula. Takedown for a grass energy, 30 damage, not bad. Of course, the big part of this card is going to be that it evolves into a card that'll be pretty important for Mewtwo, probably. Rockets Spidops. Once on your turn, you may attach a basic energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And then for a grass and a colorless, this attack does 30 damage for each of your Team Rockets Pokemon in play. So theoretically, I mean, we're probably looking at like, what, 150, 180 damage for this thing? It's whatever. But of course, the big card that was revealed is the Team Rockets Mewtwo. And the first thing off the bat that you got to recognize that I noticed, this thing has 280 HP. That's insane on a basic EX Pokemon. That's so much HP. That's what I was drawn to initially at first here. Just the insane amount of HP that this card has. It's got the Power Saver ability. This Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Rockets Pokemon in play. So Mewtwo in the active, and then at least 3 Team Rockets Pokemon on our bench. But once we read through all these cards, we're probably playing this with just Team Rockets cards, or Rockets cards. It's got the attack here, which is pretty hard for 2 Psychic Energy and a colorless, which might seem a little daunting to set up, but wait, there's more. Does 160 damage. You may discard up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon. This does 60 more damage for each card discarded this way. And it does say energy specifically, which I know what, I guess I'll just go ahead and skip ahead here a little bit, because there's the Team Rockets energy. This can only be attached to a Team Rockets Pokemon. If this card is attached if this card is attached to anything other than a Team Rockets Pokemon, discard this card. So if it somehow ends up on a non-Team Rockets Pokemon, it gets discarded. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 in any combination of Psychic and Dark Energy, which definitely leads me to believe that we're going to be seeing some Dark Rockets Pokemon revealed at some point. How powerful will they be? I don't know. The Mewtwo definitely seems pretty good to me, though. So it's 208 HP. I mean, 208 HP, like I mentioned, which is just kind of ridiculous. And the attack cost is Psychic Colorless, which seems a little daunting at first, but then once you realize that this card exists, you're like, oh, okay, attach that for turn. Team Rocket Spidop, you accelerate energy at the Spidops, and then you E-switch it probably off the Spidops to the Mewtwo, or just attach the Mewtwo twice over 2 turns, and that's fine as well. So you're not attacking with this thing like turn 1 going second, even though it is a basic Pokemon, but by turn 2, you should be swinging pretty hard. And also, its attack does say you may discard up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon, which means you could just discard a Team Rocket's energy from a bench Pokemon to get the full damage effect from Team Rocket's Mewtwo, hitting for 280 damage, which is pretty good. It's a pretty solid number. You're KOing other Rocket's Mewtwo's, you're KOing stuff like Raging Bolt, Ogre Pawns, all those things are very easily KOable. You are coming up a little bit short on stuff like Dragapult and Charizard, but I guess you have like the Rocket Spidops to be able to deal with Charizard specifically. Charizard's not really a big threat, but I'm just thinking those like higher numbers. And there's definitely a decent amount of damage modifiers in the format. Could even get something like the Maximum Belt involved to hit for 330 damage at least once against something like a Dragapult with a Rocket's Mewtwo. That would be pretty decent. So you can get to the numbers, I think, for sure. So I'm pretty hype on the Rocket's Mewtwo deck for sure. I think this thing definitely seems pretty good. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go through the rest of the cards here. There's a couple other cards to talk about. Those are the big ones for sure, though. We got the Rockets Meowth here. Cat Nab for a colorless energy. Choose a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals that card. It shuffles into their deck. Whatever. We got that Persian EX here. Arrogant Order for 2 colorless energy. Your opponent reveals the top 10 cards of their deck. You may choose an attack from a Pokemon you find there and use it as this attack. Your opponent shuffles the revealed cards back into their deck. So I'm pretty sure this thing is just not good, but that's kind of a cool meme. I mean, it's definitely just not good. I guess like maybe... No, I'm like trying to like, all right, if this ever worked competitively as a meme deck, you could play like a 4/4 Persian EX deck, right? Whatever. Turn 2 attack with Arrogant Order. As an actual use case, Nah, this thing is just never actually really good. Good meme, though. It's a good meme. Porygon here, it's got the hacking attack for colorless energy. Discard 1 card from your hand, then your opponent discards 1 from theirs. Whatever. Control R here from Porygon 2. This attack does 20 more damage for each supporter card. Each supporter in your discard pile with Team Rocket in its name. There's a few of them, and we'll get to those in a second. And then the Rocket's Porygon Z has the exact same attack, but its ability, you must discard 2 cards from your hand in order to use this ability. Once on your turn, you may draw a card. So it has the Reconstitute ability, which you actually saw on Galarian Articuno. It was the Galarian Articuno. Had the exact same ability, but that was on a basic Pokemon. And yeah, it doesn't seem that great in here. I guess it's a way to get the supporters into the discard pile, but only doing 20 damage for each supporter in your discard pile means if you have 10 supporters in your discard pile, you're doing 200 damage, which isn't very impressive for 10 supporters in your discard pile. Speaking of those supporters, though, we'll actually start with the Team Rocket's Receiver, which is an insanely powerful card. Well, it is limited to Rockets. Like I said, like stuff like Iono's Belly Bolt has an insanely powerful ability, which it is an insanely powerful ability, but it's like limited to Iono's Pokemon. Team Rocket's Receiver, honestly, it's an insanely powerful card. Search your deck for a supporter card with Rocket in its name, reveal it, and put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it's a supporter searching card for Team Rocket supporters. And there was 3 revealed. There could be more, but this might be it. Draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. If all of your Pokemon in play are Rocket's Pokemon, draw until you have 8 cards in your hand instead. That is a powerful draw supporter for sure. Drawing up to 8, like keeping your hand and then drawing on top of it up to 8 is kind of insane. It is limited, though, to forcing you to only have Rocket's Pokemon in play, which is why I was saying that we probably are playing the Rocket's Mewtwo deck as like just a Rockets deck. Who knows? Maybe not. I mean, stuff like Pheasantipity and Squawkabilly are so powerful. Do we really want to give up on these consistency support Pokemon to only be playing Rockets cards just for this supporter? Because this is the only one that really limits us to that. The next one is Team Rocket's Archer. You can play this card only if any of your Team Rocket's Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck, then you draw 5 cards and your opponent draws 3. This also seems super powerful. Like imagine you go, I don't know, go second against something and you have like a Tarountula in your active. You set up, do your thing, attach your Mewtwo and pass. And they go, all right, knock out your Tarountula on turn 2. And you're like, Receiver, Archer, you're down to 3 cards in your hand. I mean, 5 for you isn't like a ton, but if you like turn 1 used Ariana and then followed up with a turn 2 Archer, that's not too bad, to be honest. But the real powerhouse for the supporters is, of course, Giovanni. Switch your active Team Rockets Pokemon with one of your benched Rockets Pokemon. So if your active is not a Rockets Pokemon, or if you don't have a benched Rockets Pokemon, if you do, then switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So it's basically Prime Catcher, but you have to be playing Rockets Pokemon. I guess you could theoretically play Team Rockets Giovanni in a non-Rockets deck, but you'd have to be in a situation where you can have a Rockets Pokemon in your active, and then also a Rockets Pokemon on your bench. And then you'd basically have access to Prime Catcher / Guzma, if anyone played when Guzma was a thing. But you also could just play Boss's Orders and not go out of your way to do that. So this is basically just limited to a Team Rockets deck for that reason, because if you're not playing a Team Rockets deck, you just play Boss's Orders. But the switch effect is pretty good. Guzma was an insanely broken card for anyone who played with it or didn't play with it or knows what I'm talking about. It was basically Prime Catcher as a supporter if you didn't play when Guzma was a thing. So this is also probably going to be insanely powerful in the Team Rockets deck. I'm really excited to see what other Team Rockets cards they come out with. I'm already pretty hype on the Team Rockets Mewtwo by itself. Personally, I've been seeing most people on like Twitter not as hype on it as I am. But of course, there is more cards to be revealed. There's only, 13 cards. And then there's like a 100 card set or something like that. 98 cards. It's a 98 card set. So a lot more Team Rockets cards to be revealed. Definitely some Rockets Dark Pokemon to be revealed for sure. They didn't just give this thing Psychic and Dark Energy as a resource in it and only allow you to be able to attach it to Team Rockets Pokemon or Rockets Pokemon. I guess it's not, well, this is called Team Rockets Energy. Only be able to attach it to Team Rockets Pokemon, whatever, and then not print any Dark Pokemon. So those will be coming out eventually. They'll probably be revealed. A lot of cards will probably be revealed at Champions League Miyagi in 2 weeks, April 5th. So I'm going to be live with that when that's going down to see what the new reveals are. And we'll probably see some of the Dark Pokemon then would be my bet. But let me know what you think about the Rockets cards. Comment section down below. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.